Hi everyone, it's Miguel, or you can call me Coach Migz, or even Mighty Migz. And thank you for tuning in for this episode 18 of the Mighty Migz Lifestyle. And today's podcast is about how to improve at your own pace. But before we go further ahead, I'd like to mention that the sponsor of this episode is actually Elite Subs in Chatswood. And this is the very first episode that I've been given the honor to make them as the sponsor. So thank you so much, Elite Subs Chatswood, for making this official. And visit them on the description box below and view their Instagram profile and send me a DM, okay, if you want that 10% discount, okay, so for all the supplements that you need in Elite Subs, whether it's weightlifting or like muscle building, fat loss, they have a bunch of stuff that could help you attain your goals in health and fitness. So just mention this podcast and just mention the Mighty Migz Lifestyle to end up getting your 10% discount. Anyway, without further ado, thank you for tuning in. And this is going to be an interesting one because it may not be a short video after all. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys tips on how to improve. But what is it that you want to improve in? Is it your health and fitness goals, martial arts, sports such as basketball, soccer, volleyball, you name it, whatever it is subjective, right? But I'm going to teach you how to do it in a fitness lifestyle way and even in martial arts way, okay? So because those are the things that I grew up doing. Growing up, I was heavily into martial arts. I still am. I don't practice it as much as I used to. I still do. But I got more inclined to the fitness aspect of martial arts, and that's why I became a personal trainer. Okay? But let me start off with where I began in my martial arts journey. If you watched the previous episodes to this, you probably know that I started off in Shotokan Karate under Sensei Jericho Luna, who's still a good mentor to me up to this day, like an uncle, even a father figure to me. Very good man. So I needed to do that. Not only did I need to do that to release some energy and negativity in my life, but I wanted to do it. Okay. But one thing is certain is that when I started in karate back in the day, I was 12 years old, turning 13. I was kind of picked on by the other students because, they were the older guys who were either a little bit more experienced than I was, or even the fact that, I was a slow learner and I didn't know how to defend for myself. And this is probably something that Sensei Jericho Luna didn't actually recognize, that I was actually getting teased by a few of those older students because I wasn't progressing as much. I didn't know how to stick up for myself against the bigger people because I was only 12 years old. But anyway, yeah, so they'll pick on me and they'll actually do all that stuff. And I felt inadequate only because I didn't learn as fast as everybody did in the class. There was a handful of us and it was embarrassing and I felt inadequate and just unworthy, or I didn't have the potential to actually, get to their level, it seems like. But, a year or two later, even less than 2 years, the funny thing is that they stopped doing karate. And from what I heard from Sensei Jericho Luna back then is that those guys who used to pick on me during the class, they started just getting more into drinking, partying, chasing after girls and all that stuff. And yeah, it just derailed them from becoming a good karateka or a martial artist. But I stayed on board only because I wanted to improve. Okay. And for me, I'm not, even up to now, sometimes I'm not really a quick learner per se. But I am determined. I am driven. But back then, I was a much slower learner. And I felt uncoordinated. And it took me a little while to memorize the katas, the karate katas. And it took me a little while just to progress with the karate kicks, even the blocks, the punches, everything like that. Because it was very traditional as well. The stances and the forms and the rhythm had to be correct under Sensei Jericho Luna. But at the same time, how did I improve? In simple theory, it was just through practice, repetitions, okay? And, the good thing about that is that being a slow learner, I ended up appreciating my progress a little bit more than other people in the class. I wasn't the fastest guy. I wasn't really the strongest guy in the class, but, there was, I don't know how many students you had back then, but you know what? There was only a handful of us who kept on coming back almost every week for karate practice. And so how did I progress? I just, like I said, just repetition. And the sad part for me back then is I had to do it perfect. it was just like that competitive fire in me that I had to make every single technique and every single thing that I was learning as perfect as possible. And every time I was getting kicked or hit during a sparring practice or during a drill, I felt like putting myself under a lot of pressure that was unnecessary. Okay. And, it just, it's not meant to be perfect. That's what I meant to say. And it's better that you make mistakes in practice than, just in a real life competition or a street fight. And that's what practice is all about. You learn and just try to minimize the mistakes as much as you can when you need to perform, whether it's in street fight or in competition, karate competition, or any kind of competition. And that's the main point. And Sensei Jerry actually gave me some good tips back then. Just don't be so hard on yourself. You just keep practicing and you'll learn there, yeah? And one of the practical ways that I've learned to actually improve as time went by, being a slow learner, is that I was just one of those guys that had to work on my weaknesses first and then maintain my strengths. Okay? Everybody's got different strengths and weaknesses, but back then I knew what my weaknesses were. Okay? Because I'm not going to get into the detail, but learning how to fix your weaknesses, you'll realize in the long run that once you improve on them, you're going to become better and better. Okay? That's how you evolve. Okay? But in the context of karate or even martial arts in general, you have to just learn something new, not just from your instructor or instructors, but also in like learning how to spar with different people, because everybody's got different techniques, different rhythms. And if you keep sparring and training with the same people, there's only so much you can learn. Okay. So how did I progress in this context? Okay. So once I got my black belt in karate back in late 2001, being a young, dumb idiot back then, I was 17. And the funny thing is, I was a black belt in Shotokan karate. I thought I was a black belt in everything else. And during back then, Sensei Jerry will actually teach us a few judo and jiu-jitsu techniques. And I thought I was going to be a black belt in that. I'm a black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu. But the funny thing is, once I got into more of the MMA side of things, mixed martial arts side of things, I started, learning new disciplines such as Muay Thai kickboxing and even Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And, just because I was a black belt in karate doesn't mean I'm going to be a black belt in those other arts. And that's the mistake that I did. I thought I was. But how did I learn? Like I said, this is one of those things where you just have to keep learning and adapting. Okay, just like adapt like a chameleon theory that I've taught in one of my previous episodes. Maybe I have. I'll check it out later. But if I did, don't be surprised. Okay, but if I didn't, I apologize in advance that I'm making stuff up. But anyway, I would rather just keep learning from different people because, I remember back then, the fitness component of Muay Thai, kickboxing, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was just so different. It's more anaerobic than static. Karate was a little bit, somewhat anaerobic, but it's more static. You have to be still, when you had to do those katas like that, you have to be really still to feel the impact of karate, especially when you're practicing your katas. But when it comes to, those other arts that I mentioned, Muay Thai kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a lot more the general fitness components was actually needed, like aerobic and anaerobic fitness and strength and conditioning. And I realized then that there's so much to learn. Okay, and the more I've learned other things and be open-minded to things that I find more appealing to me, the more I learned. Yeah, and that's the more I progressed. But this clip here isn't about me teaching how to improve fast. No, because everyone's going to improve in their own different way. Okay, there's topics out there or other coaches out there, MMA coaches or even lifestyle coaches, personal trainers like I will tell you how to improve fast. But improving fast for somebody is different from everybody else. Okay, because just because somebody's a quick learner doesn't mean you're going to learn as quick as they do. But it's okay. Learn at your own pace. Stick to your own lane. Okay, and one of the tips is just the main tip that I gave you in the beginning is just to make sure that you keep practicing that what you need to practice. Okay. And, because focus on the things that you're not good at first. Okay. Then you maintain your strengths. Okay. That goes with anything. Okay. Even with, for those of you who know that I'm also a film actor, the good thing is that, the classes that I do every 2 weeks, my coach, Sam Haft, would actually get me to do roles or even scenes that I'm not actually used to doing, because he knows that those are the roles I normally don't play. And the only way I could become a better actor is to do roles and scenes, or scenes with different contexts, to just improve on him. That's how I not involve. Okay, so just be aware of that, because everybody's different. You learn new things every day, but in the context of fitness and martial arts, it's just all about practice. Okay, make a mental note, or just film it with your mobile phone or your iPad or your laptop or whatever you call it, when you're practicing a drill or a workout. Okay, and just see where you went right or wrong, because where you go wrong, where you realize you can only improve from that position onwards. Okay, and another way to improve is just to make sure that you get the right help from other people, the right coaching, whether it's martial arts or fitness, and the right people who have been there, done that, and people who are like-minded. Okay, so that's one of the best ways to improve, because you're only as sharp as the people who you hang out with. I'm talking about sharp mentally. Okay, and dictate your pace, but at the same time improve at your own pace. Okay, that's one of the best practical ways to improve. Okay, and I'd hate to say it, but growing up, I had low self-esteem. Okay, and I wanted to prove to everybody that I'm this and that I'm more than what I was being portrayed as. How do I say this? I was just being somebody who I wasn't, and I made a fool out of myself in some circumstances. But I wanted to prove to everybody that I'm better than what I really was. But the truth is, I'm human. Okay, so you have to accept that you're human as well, in order for you to improve. And in order for you to improve, work out with people, or train with people, or work with people who are more experienced or better than you in that field. Okay, no matter what skill it is, profession, sports, martial arts, fitness, that's one way to improve. Okay, even for me, I'm doing Muay Thai kickboxing as well. After I got my black belt in karate, most of those guys were just beating me up. At least 70% of the guys were probably beating me up during sparring class. I hated it back then, but looking back now, kind of made me a better person, made me more humble. Okay, so improvement's not just about skill in this context, but it's also about humility and character. Okay, so through those adversities that you face in the gym or in the martial arts dojo, it'll just make you not only a better martial artist and a fighter, but a better person as well. It'll help you sharpen your mind. Okay, so the next episode's about how to sharpen your mind anyway, yeah? So I'm going to talk to you guys about that shortly. And if you have any questions about this, just let me know. And I'll be glad to answer it as best as I can to my knowledge, through my experience and the education that I've had. Okay, so it's all about progression, not perfection. Just like I told you, just keep practicing. Just, keep the right people around you, the coaches who are more experienced, or even people who you train with who are more experienced. Okay, I hope that helps. So if you haven't done so, please press the like and subscribe buttons on the description box below. And actually, if you're watching this on YouTube, just press the like and subscribe buttons. Yeah, that'll be greatly appreciated. And share this to anybody who you feel that may benefit from watching this video, because even as time goes by, I'm practically 40, I'm nearly 40, I'm still willing to learn. Okay, so get that. Another thing that I almost forgot to mention is that that theory of you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That depends on the person. Okay, I feel like I'm learning more than I'm older now. Okay, but it's one of those things you're just willing to learn. Get that theory out of your head that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But just as long as you're willing to learn, you can progress. Yeah, at your own pace. So don't be hard on yourselves. And thank you so much for tuning in. And this is Coach Migz, and Don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons again. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next episode.